G'day, I'm Peter Bostock, Territory Sales Manager for Pioneer Seeds in Southern WA. Today I'm going to take you through our strike site east of York in Western Australia. Strike stands for Seed Technology Research in Key Environments. In Western Australia we've got Geraldton, Mora, York, Corrigan, Kojonup and Esperance. So it gives a broad range of environments, and invariably we lose sites due to variable weather conditions, but overall we get a very good data set. So the aim of these trial sites is to evaluate potential releases or lines coming through against our existing commercial products. We do have commercial competitor checks in there, but the primary focus is to ensure that the experimental lines we're looking at bringing through are actually going to provide more to the grower than what we've currently got. This strike site is hosted by the Penny family from Green Hills, east of York. The trial is conducted by Living Farm, a trials research company based in York. This site, we've had 380 odd mils from April till now, and there's about 50 odd mils during the summer. It's about 100 mils up on the 10-year average for this location. So a very good year, good moisture. We've had a very good establishment because it was sown on the 8th of May into good moisture. A little bit later than what we would have liked, but it's led to a much better trial because we've got a very good establishment. The site is well fed. We want to actually be able to push these products to actually express their genetic differences rather than just looking at farmer practice. So it's had 185 units of N, about 15 units of P and K, and lots of S because some of that's gone on just extra through the nitrogen applications during the year. But as you'll see later on, we've got a very good trial here. Products have been able to express their differences, and it's well grown. This site is east of York, Western Australia. Then there's two other sites over east, and we look at similar latitudes between east and west on a couple of sites, and then we have another one further south because daylight, temperature, rainfall, all these factors all have an impact on some products. So we're trying to compare them out in different environments, looking for variabilities. At this site, we're going to show you through Clearfield technologies, the Roundup Ready, and then also triazine tolerant canola. So all three systems are here, and they're actually at all 6 sites in Western Australia. They will be at most sites around Australia. This year we've got 2 times of sowing, the 14th of April and the 8th of May. They've both gone into good moisture, so we've ended up with very good establishment, which makes for a much better trial. Okay, this is 43Y92, so Clearfield. So this is our quickest Clearfield hybrid that we have. It's actually our oldest commercially available hybrid now as well. Just need to bear in mind with the Clearfields, if you're using them to manage Clearfield residue in your cereal phase, you do need to understand your herbicide resistance because you are relying on the IMI chemistry to actually control the weeds in the crop. So that aside, this has been a very adaptable product, suited to later sowing in higher rainfall areas or the lower rainfall areas. So here in what's typically a 280, 300 mil growing season rainfall environment, for not so early planting, this would be first choice out here, or with an earlier planting, 44Y94. This is another product that's very good for direct heading. All our currently commercial products have got very good pod shatter tolerance, so make them ideal for direct heading. Other than that, it's been a very good product, very reliable, over a wide range of environments in a wide range of seasons. This is Pioneer's 44Y94 Clearfield. This hybrid is described as an early mid. It does fit in nicely between 43Y92 and the 45Y93 and 45Y95. So from an earlier sowing opportunity around here, we're looking sort of around at mid-April. It'd be very hard to beat this product in this environment. Again, very good for direct heading. It's probably for a late sowing when you're looking into sort of the lower end of medium rainfall. Yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge, and even at this site, because it is quite a late sowing, 8th of May, probably hasn't had the full opportunity, but it's pretty much finished flowering within reasonable temperatures and should still yield very well. Good robust blackleg package of groups B and C, and looking quite good. This is our newest Clearfield hybrid 45Y95. This is a very high yielding product where it's got the edge on 45Y93. You can see in this site it's probably a little bit long for early May sowing. 8th of May, definitely been too late for here. But disregarding that, in the right environment, down in the lower Great Southern, west of the Albany Highway, this will be the product of choice for an early planting. Phenology and maturity, quite similar to 45Y93. Depending on the year and location, it will move around a bit, but it has got the edge on yield over the 45Y93. Like 93, it is very tall, but I guess if you've got the ability to harvest a very tall product and you can get a noticeable edge in yield, then it's definitely worthwhile taking that yield opportunity. So blackleg group is a straight C, so you'll need to refer to your agronomist around sort of blackleg management strategies. But overall, very good for direct heading, again, because it's got very good pod shatter tolerance. Standability seems very good. So yeah, suited to being pushed pretty hard with nitrogen rates. And like I mentioned previously, you need to factor in about 80 units of nitrogen for every tonne of target yield to be available to the crops. That's not just what's in the bag, but what's in the soil as well. Okay, this is 45Y93. Up until this year, this has been our longest season Clearfield hybrid. It's a very high yielding product. It is very tall as well. For this environment, it's actually a bit long. But when it's grown in its right environment, further south or further west, still requires an early planting. Very high yielding, very tall. So it's actually quite a good product for grazing. And when you graze these sort of products in an environment that's got a very soft finish, you can actually shorten the height quite a bit, put the stock in round about, green bud as they're putting a bit of a bud up, and you end up with sort of multiple main stems. So yeah, very high yielding, but the height can be a challenge for some harvesting. Realistically, with most of the harvesting equipment out there now, which is either European or European type harvesting gear, it's not an issue. And particular direct heading, and again, very good for direct heading. You can see here these last few flowers, they're actually suffering a bit from the heat and probably moisture. Even though we've had a very wet year here, there is pressure coming on with the heat, and this just reinforces that with a sowing as late as this, as the 8th of May, it is too late for a product like this in this environment, but it needs to go in the trials. Well, here we've got 44Y27, which is a Roundup Ready hybrid. This is currently our quickest material since we've dropped 43Y23. It's an early mid, as you can see, based on the flowering is virtually finished. Look, it's set a lot of pods. As we mentioned earlier on, this site's had 185 units of N, so we've given this product every chance to perform. So it is our tallest Roundup Ready we have at the moment. It is very adaptable. It continued to match 43Y23 in the low rainfall areas, but has a very good fit also in the medium to high rainfall areas. So this product would fit anywhere from sort of low right through the medium rainfall and for a later sowing opportunity in the high rainfall areas. It's a blackleg Group B and has been a very solid performer over a number of years. Very suitable to direct heading and yeah, on the tall side with swathing for some when it's in a high production situation, but yeah, certainly very good for direct heading. We are now looking at Pioneer's 44Y30 Roundup Ready Hybrid. It's an early mid. From a maturity point of view, it fits between 44Y27 and 45Y28, both from a phenology aspect and also maturity. It's very high yielding. It's proven to be very adaptable in the trials that have been conducted over recent years. And obviously in-field experience will either validate or disprove that, but at this stage it's very good. Again, like all our hybrids, it's got very good shadow tolerance, making it very suitable for direct heading, which is where obviously most growers have gone to in Western Australia. Yeah, it's a Group AB on blackleg, but from the major gene perspective, but yeah, it's got very good polygenic resistance and stands up very well. You can see here, looking into this crop, the pod density is very good. It's a very, very dense band of pods, which should lead to a very good yield in this product. Now we've got 45Y28, which is a Roundup Ready hybrid. It's a 5 series, so mid-maturity. So for this environment, the previous two products we looked at are more suitable from a sort of a back half of April onwards sowing. But in this environment, we'd want this in early April. It is actually our highest yielding Roundup Ready. It's again very good for direct heading. Yeah, predominantly it's being used in the the early sowings and medium rainfall and into the higher rainfall zones where it can be planted as late as into end of May and do very well. But if you're growing a product like this, you really need to be prepared to put a fair bit of nitrogen on, because otherwise you won't realise those yield advantages. And even the previous product, 44Y30, you need to factor in 80 units of nitrogen for every tonne of yield that you want. I know it seems like a big number, but you can't grow yield on thin air. So you can see here, the space between the pods is very compact. This product never has an overly deep seed head, but the pods are packed in very, very tight. So it can be somewhat misleading as far as the actual yield will be compared to what it looks like. And you can see in this crop, the seed head's not overly deep, but it packs the yield into a very compact space.